In this video, I want to discuss Rasselas. Um, One way to look at it in terms of item analysis. So we're trying to find something within the book that will allow us to draw an observation out that is not obvious, that is beneath the surface, but nevertheless there. So we're trying to look at the individual parts, examine everything we can to see what we can legitimately find that would serve as an interpretive clue for us. All right. Now, one of the things that Johnson seems to do at the beginning of his book Rasselas is to really give you a pretty good description of the Happy Valley. Now, it's a valley, so it's between mountains, right? And it's going to look something like this. You know, you got the mountainsides, and at the bottom he says there's a lake. Okay, but he also tells you that it's surrounded on every side with mountains, and that people cannot leave except through, one iron gate that is shut all the time. So it seems to be more suggestive of the fact that, here are mountains, that there are mountains all around this. All right, and this, in fact, is more like, so think of mountains on this side too, covering it. It seems to be more like an inverted cone going down in there, and it seems in fact to be a big crater or a big hole at the bottom of which is the lake and the shorelines, and then but you have mountains surrounding it in 360 degrees because no one can get out. Now at one point there is an exit here, but it's barred off with gates. So I would say having this picture in mind is legitimate given the description that is given to you at the very beginning. And important, the beginnings of anything are important, and you may find some clues that you can latch onto, or some guiding thread that, if you hang on to that and keep this picture in mind, may help you make sense of the book as you continue to read it. But so think of this as a crater. Now he does tell you that there is an outcropping, and on the outcropping is the house, that wonderful castle with all its levels and all that. But Johnson takes pains to tell you that the tops of the mountains tower over as if they would crash upon the house and the Happy Valley. So these it says right over the center of the valley, the tops of the mountains hovered over. So it's as if these mountains are moving in like this. And then remember that there is a little hole here through which the water flows. Water can flow out when it rains and the water level rises. There's a hole here through which the water drains. And the Rasselas can't get through that hole because it's covered over with broken rock, remember? So there's all this broken rock, blocking human passage, but the water can filter through the rock. How did that rock break? With these mountains in place as they are, why is this broken rock here? There must be at times tremors or movements that shake and break the rock. All right. In fact, it happens during the opening parts when Rasselas is trying to find a way out. There is this crack that develops right through here, right underneath the house, in fact. And he and Imlach are able to dig their way out that way, but the crack has to happen first. So if the cracks are appearing at this rate, what does this tell you about this valley with the mountain tops hovering over it, and the happiness, right? The society that they share up here, all resting on this outcropping and the crack that happens beneath it. Doesn't that suggest to you that this is actually a precarious place, a dangerous place, where death is imminent, and it can happen at any minute? A crashing down on itself, a destroying of itself. There's a superficial happiness and carefree living here, but it's built on a very shaky foundation that's just waiting to crash into this pit down here. The resolution of the water, the symbol of the sea that swallows up everything. All right. I think that you should remember this as you progress your way through the book, and I wanted to draw it out because unless you take time to imagine and visualize the scene, you might miss it. That this is actually a big hole, at the bottom of which is another hole that's covered over, shrouded with the mystery of the water. and that the people that live in this valley are always under the threat of being um, annihilated, destroyed by the structure of the hole caving in on itself.